Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drake Queen Game, and some of you on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you with the Let's Play episode of Polar Night. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. We're searching the wreckage. Pushing myself upright, I staggered back to the entrance. This place had been a waste of time, and now I didn't know if I had it in me to try somewhere else. Every step took effort. My teeth chattered, and I could barely keep my eyes open. In my daze, I could only think of one place left I might find something to warm me up. The ship's stores, somewhere in the lower decks. Problem is, I had no idea where to go or where to look. As I slowly made my way down the stairs, gripping the rail for dear life in case my trembling knees gave way, I could only guess. I shuffled half awake through dark corridors. My torch beam vibrated violently as my hand shook. I don't know how long I wandered, spending every ounce of strength to stay upright. When I briefly was pulled back into lucidity. What the fuck? It took a moment for my cold-addled brain to register what I was seeing. It seemed like a riot took place here. And the door. What language was that? And there was nothing to indicate that was what was behind the door. No signs or labels inside the spray paint. Yeah, but if there's a fucking X on the door, it usually means do not enter. And I knew it had to be a warning. I tried to swallow, but my throat was dry and my body was quaking violently. Who was that? Garret. On the edge of my hearing, a voice calling out. Connor? The voice seemed so distant, yet I could swear it was almost next to me, muffled. And that's when I realized. Here. Mom! I moved to the door, pressing my cheek to the cold metal and straining to hear. Mom, are you there? It's me! I'm here! I'm alive! I pounded on the door. She was so close, I could hear her voice. I'm here, just shout if you can hear! Back. The muffled voice put my fur on end, but it had to be her. I hammered on the door. I didn't even notice the tears streaming down my cheeks. She needed to know. She couldn't be left wandering. My vision clouded. My knees folded and I slid down the door, the flashlight clattering away from me as I fell sideways, shivering. Someone, a woman, was calling me, but I no longer recognized the voice. She was gone. I was alone. I just wanted to sleep and never have to wake up. I'm here. Please. Take me home. Miracle. Can't believe. Is he okay? I know hypothermia. I heard voices. Raised, I think. Sometimes frantic. Sometimes angry. Fuck's sake, couldn't Connor and Clyde take this outside for once? The last thing either Mom or me needed was to listen to them screaming at each other. What do we do now? Should never have... This is all your fault! Stop this, it isn't helping! And as my head broke the surface of calm water, the sounds came through fully, as did the pain. My very bones ached. My skin felt like it was scalded. Like a million needles were poking me. My nose felt like a burning lump of coal. The combined pain forced a soft groan from my chest, and the voices quickly stopped for a moment. Garret! You're awake! I forced open my bleary eyes. My one good eye took a moment to focus on the figure hovering over me. It was unusually dark with warm, flickering light. Garret! Can you hear me? Can you talk? I tried to speak, but all I could manage was another soft moan. Finally, I could see the figure clearly. We were in the mess hall. It had been tidied up a little. The small candle heaters had been lit and the gas lantern was hissing away, giving the room a dim but warm orange glow. Damn, kid, you're tougher than you look. I was shaken from my groggy stupor by a familiar booming voice. Dana moved into my field of vision beside Gale, giving me a surprisingly warm smile coming from her. Welcome back to the land of the living. Behind Gale was the rest of the group. Gale was beaming at me with relief, as was Stefan. Beside me, my clothes had been laid over a table with a lantern nearby. We found your clothes in the hospital. It's what clued us in that you must have been somewhere on the ship. I remembered. I still draped in the blankets from the hospital, but also I felt softness underneath, realizing it had been laid out on a mattress on the floor, between two overturned dining tables. Tabby looked sour, as did Aaron, who were both standing off away from the main group. I recalled our argument on the Sylvia. Either they held a grudge against me, or I had missed yet another shitstorm. Sharif, June, Joseph, and Rufus were standing in the pairs. June and Joseph on one side naturally, and even from where I could see, Sharif and Joseph were fuming. Maybe I should just slip back into sweet unconsciousness and let whatever this was work itself out. It is good to see you survived as well, Garret, if I may ask. No, you may not. He needs rest. Oh, Stefania, give him a break, will you? He nearly died. I nearly died. It seemed whatever tension in the room was momentarily lifted as I crowded closer. Slowly, I forced myself to my paws, ignoring the protests of Gale. Dana offered me an arm and hauled me up. How did you find your way here? We thought you'd been killed in the Sylvia explosion. I don't know. I got lost in the blizzard, then it just cleared up. How did I get here? Then I thought about it. I'd heard something. I had someone calling out to me. It was no use. The more I tried to recall, the further away the memories drifted, like my fingers were brushing the edge of something floating on water. The more I reached for it, the more I pushed it away. Second, now, water time. Alright, guys and gals, and we are back. Let's jump back into it, shall we? Okay. As did we. It seems the blizzard dissipating saved all of us. That's right, Aaron. Forget what accent I did for... man, it's been a while. Okay, look, as much as I'd love to go over what we've already been through... His tone was sharp, impatient. His eyes met mine and I caught a brief glint of something pleasant. We still need to decide how to deal with the situation. The tension from before came back with a vengeance. Even Rufus and Dana, who normally wants to shy away from confrontation, looked uncomfortable. And we need to figure out how we got in this mess. I cringed, expecting her to look at me, but her eyes were firmly on Joseph. Enough, Tabby! This is no time to start throwing around blame. It's the perfect fucking time. I told you all that fucking ship was a death trap, and now look where we are. Tabby, I'm so... Shut up! I don't want to hear any excuses from either of you. Did you even get the fucking radio working again before the ship went down? An awful silence settled. Even Joseph seemed taken aback. Well? I shuddered. I'd heard that tone before, when he'd squared up to Sheriff. The captain would have gotten a message off, I'm sure. You didn't answer her question. The others, Gale and Dana excluded, now pressed around them, cold, accusing glares, forcing the pair to take a step backward. It was my responsibility. I will take the blame. No, it wasn't you. You did... It was my responsibility. His tone turned sharp, shooting June a look. That's swell, but you still ain't answered her god-fucking-damn question. Did the radio get fixed, yes or no? Guys. I croaked, struggling to stay on my feet, but they didn't budge. I made to move toward them, but Dana put an arm out, beating my gaze. She gave me a firm shake of her head. Gale looked back and forth, frantic, but Dana gave her a hard stare. It seemed she wanted an answer to the question, too. No. The silence that followed that was thick enough to cut. The mutinous glare sent a chill through me worse than any blizzard. So what you are saying... Sheriff spoke slowly, carefully, but I'd heard enough of his tone to know he was seething. Is that not only have we not sent any distress message, but since GPS was down for hours before she sank, any rescue sent could be miles off Sylvia's actual last position. Am I correct? Joseph met his stare evenly. Not for the first time did I envy his steel nerves. If he was afraid, he hit it well. Yes. Another terrible silence followed. So, now what? I blurted it out without really thinking, but it seemed to pop the bubble of tension that had been building, a little. Well, I would suggest we locate as many supplies as we can. Food and water, matches and fuel. Now wait a second here. Who put you in charge? In case you ain't been paying attention, we're not on your goddamn expedition anymore. I did not put myself in charge, I merely... Oh yeah, another thing. Doesn't anyone find it convenient that we just happened to stumble on the Iran? I have no idea what you... His normally cool and controlled aura slipped as he glanced around at the hostile gazes.
I told you guys he was up to something. I didn't believe it was just an alternative route bullshit from the start. We set off on this new route of yours and bam, we sailed right into the Iran. Coincidence?
I told you all the route was the likely course. I explained all this to you. Do you seriously believe it's extraordinary that...
What is that weird noise? Everyone just calm down. This isn't helping. Everyone just calm down. This isn't helping. She's right. We need to work together. Oh, shut up, Gale. You're the only reason I'm even here. Tabby, that is not fair.
It's like a dentist drilled the back of my skull. Not even a noise, really. More like a vibration. Every time I tried to pinpoint with my ears, it seemed to move.
Guys, throwing blame around is only...
a lot of different voices, okay.
And where are we supposed to... Be methodical about this.
Louder and louder, but also still not quite there. I covered my ears trying to block it out, but now it felt like it was coming from inside my own head. Where's that coming from? There's voices fading in the background as I screwed my eyes shut, trying to block it out. Like a giant mosquito had burrowed into my brain. Was I going to be trapped here? Die here? A miserable, slow, and lonely death with these people as my only company. Mom, she'd be completely alone. I just wanted someone to take me home.
God, what is that fucking noise?
Shit. I opened my eyes and looked at the others who had stopped bickering to stare at me with a mixture of concern and disturbed looks.
Garret?
She moved closer, placing a hand on my shoulder.
I'm sorry, can't anyone else hear?
I then realized it was gone. Whatever noise had been there, there's only the sound of the wind outside, the dull creaking and groaning of the ship, and the awkward silence of our motley group.
You should rest. You might still be suffering from hypothermia.
To be honest, it sounded like a great idea. I felt like I could sleep standing up at this point.
Look, Sharif is right. We should get ourselves set up to spend potentially several days here at least.
A few unhappy murmurs, but no one objected.
I'm going to look for Alex. Stefan, for Christ's sake. Fuck you! None of you thought the Iran was still afloat, but here we are! I was right! You do what you want. I'm gonna search this place until I find him.
Before anyone could interject, he turned and stormed out the room, his paw steps fading into the distance.
Well, I mean, we're here, right? This is why we came out here.
The rest of us exchanged uncomfortable looks, but I could see that everyone else was thinking the same thing. We all had someone on this hulk.
Listen, if you guys want to search for your loved ones, why don't me and June look for our supplies and bring them here?
A few guilty looks were exchanged as they recalled how they'd been at her and Joseph's throats just minutes earlier, but Sheriff spoke for them all. That is a splendid idea. With everyone now left to their own devices, I was left to watch as people slowly trickled out until I was on my own. I moved gingerly over to my clothes and gripped the fabric. It dried surprisingly well. I wasn't sure the inside of my boots would have had a chance to dry properly, but I'd still rather be mostly dry and warm clothes than these blankets. Alright, y'all, I'm actually going to pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank y'all for all I do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Summer. Thank you going above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks to our 2 gold tier patrons, Zeke and Toby. Y'all are awesome. We love you. Thank you for something to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our not safe for work contents as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!